Hey, it's Connor Zary. You're listening to the fellas at Missin Curfew.
What's Missin Curfew? It's when you kind of play guilty, but you show up.
How nice is a green light on the road, though? No practice tomorrow, no plane, just go.
Scotty Upshaw in the clear, and he scores! Right in front, scores!
A few laughs, a little bit of fun, and obviously a lot of hockey talk.
You're listening to Missin Curfew.
Fellas, coming to you from Hall Pass Media in Newport Beach. This is Missin Curfew. And before we snap it around, let's not forget this show is always presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Today we got a nice left-handed shot, nice right-handed shot, D-man. We don't have to worry about Upshaw turning pucks over. We don't have to worry about Richardson getting kicked out of the face-off circle. It's Obes, the Swiss dog. What's up, fella? You can't trust a forward, my man.
You never can, Obes. And every time we've done these D-to-D, just like episodes, it just brings you right back to the locker room. You have the forwards on one end, you have the D on the other. The forwards are bitching about how they didn't get their second assist, while the D are actually setting up the go night. They're having a chew, and they're just hanging out. Like, there was nothing better than just hanging out with the fellas at the D door. The forwards are always bitching about something. The D were just like, fellas, what's going on? How you doing? What are you doing after this? So it's good to be back with you, brother. Brings me right back into the locker room, so I'm fired up for this one today.
Yeah, you know what? It reminds me of a good D meeting too, right? Remember on teams where you're just like, hey, we're just going to have a D meeting today at 9:30, and then we could just go in there as a group of 6 or 7, and we could basically just call out the forwards, right? Like look at what is Uppy doing here? Like, look at Uppy turning the wrong way. He should be there. Like, I do miss a good old-fashioned D meeting with the 7 or 8 of us in there with the D coach, where we can just figure out, like, okay, what forwards kind of know what they're doing and what other forwards have no idea what they're doing.
100%. And how cool is it, too, when you had that beauty assistant coach that was the D coach? And especially right around this time of the year, Obes, maybe, into the regular season, a week or two in, you get on that first road trip, and that D coach, who's probably a veteran, played a ton of years in the league, he's like, all right, boys, hey, tonight, before dinner, we're going to meet up for one beer. We're going to talk about, what's going on, what we like this season to look like. How have you liked my practices? Do you like the D drills we're doing? Do you like your partner? That was always the best, just hanging out with the D. And especially, I just remember, when you had a coach that got it, Obes, like that at the start of the season, he'd always bring the boys out for a beer on the road, usually around the first road trip of the year.
Yeah, Rick Bonesy. Every year, I don't know if it was quite at the start of the year. He might have done it twice, actually, Swishy. He might have done it at the start of the year, and then right after, All-Star break or whatever, right before crunch time, we'd all go out, usually Nashville, right? I was in Vancouver, so Bonesy would usually wait for Nashville because it was just easy, right? Let's meet on Broadway, go to Tootsie's. Unless you were a recovering fucking alcoholic or whatever, you had to have at least one beer. I probably had a few more than that, but we sat down, we bullshitted, listened to tunes, talked it out. And as a defenseman, communication and trust is maybe the most important thing. Like, obviously, you got to have skill. You got to be able to pass. You got to be able to, you learn your reads as your career goes on. But for me to trust you and you to trust me on my reads and communication, it's more important than any position on the ice surface, I believe.
100%. And look, if you play forward, you play center, you have 2 other line mates. And also, Obes, if you fuck up as a forward, you have a line of defense and your goalie. If you make a mistake as the last man back, you're putting your goalie, you're hanging him out to dry. So communication, like you said, trusting your partner where he's going to be, and also staying connected with your partner, not only on the ice, but off the ice. I always felt, the more you liked your partner off the ice, the more you're going to be willing to go to war for him. I know it makes sense, but it really is a different feeling when you like to do it off the ice and you bring it onto the sheet.
100%. And, the thing about forward lines, like, maybe not, your top line or even your top 6, but it seems like they're always shuffling the third and fourth lines at times, right? And even the second and first lines at time. Like, as a defenseman, when I found a partner that I could trust and I knew he was going to be there and I could read off of him, like, I would desperately talk to my D coaches being like, listen, like, I know things aren't going well right now, but, like, for example, like, don't break up me and Swish, right? Like, I finally got his reads. I know where he's going. I know when he's going to, I know when he's going to push out. I know when he's going to hold. I know when he's going to go D to D. I know when he's going to jump down the wall. Like, in the National League, especially playing defense, when I can count on you and I know you're going, then I can come over. I'm already there. Like, that half a second's so huge, Swishy.
Yeah, and lastly on this topic, Obes, how big is it too when you have a forechecker on you? So you have the puck. I know whether you're either going to give me a dink play, which is kind of closer to the net, or you're going to reverse it. I can't call that play for you because otherwise the forward's going to read it, who's forechecking you. But I can feel and I can know just based on how much we've communicated, we've practiced together, and just our overall vibe and chemistry is I know where you're going to go with that puck. And then I'm just reading off of you, and it's second nature. Yes, communication is big, but in a lot of times it's just reading the guy and knowing what he's going to do. And that's vital, man.
Yeah, I love a good little dink, right? Just a little dink to swishy. Skate, skate, skate. I'll never forget, I was playing in Calgary right near the end, and who was the big defenseman? Chris Breen, was that his name? Did you ever play against that guy? He was a big monster, like 6'8".
I don't think so.
We're going into a face-off, and Factor, Ryan O'Reilly's the centerman for, I believe, the Buffalo Sabres at the time. Maybe he was still in Colorado. No, he's still in Colorado. I was back at the old Tin Can, the Pepsi Center back in the day. And Bremer or whoever is like, oh, it's dink, dink. And Factor like hurt him. And I'm looking at him like, and Factor just kind of smiles at me, deliberately loses the draw, comes in, he dinks it before I could tell him not to. And next thing you know, scoring chance. Like those things have to go without being said. Like I just look at you and we have chemistry and you know, hey, dink. Or like just the way I look at you, you know.
Right, 100%. Like you'll always, if you were my partner going back to that situation, you'd be like, Swishy, if he's on my left hip, okay, well, that's going to be probably a reverse play. If he's on my right hip, well, now I got him on my back. It's going to be a dink closer to the net. So now you can wheel and skate into it. You got to know that as my partner and vice versa. That's the best part about the decor, though. Then you go back to the bench and you talk it out. You're like, great play, fella. You had that read well. So
yeah,
I missed that. But
there's nothing better than a nice, neat and tidy shift to the National League with your D part. And you just get back, have a sip of water. Good shift. Great breakout pass. Hey, good stick there. Way to go at him. Hey, good 3-on-2 read. Good read there. Way to hold the middle. Those are the little things that D-men do.
Sometimes I would get hornier for a sick middle pop than a backdoor pass.
There's nothing better than a middle pop.
There's nothing better where a guy, you fake rim it, little moxie shimmy shake, get a guy on the train tracks, and you just pop it right through his triangle and it's into your center, low and slow, and you're out of the zone. That feels better a lot of times than an assist. I think so.
I agree. And Ryan O'Reilly, there's many reasons why I loved Ryan O'Reilly right from the get-go. But one of his things was he was always right there low and slow. And I would go back and get it, be under a little bit of pressure, just a little dink pass to the middle, and we were gone. And I love on the PK especially. When they're in there, you're in trouble. You come back, the puck's dumped in. They think you're going to rim it. You just give a little dink to the middle and down 200 feet and you change. Fuck, that feels good.
Yeah, right at the nipple too, right at the dot. And it's just it got that just little sifty, silky pace on it. Oh, crispy.
It rattles me a lot when I watch guys kill penalties nowadays, how they just rim pucks and they get it and they just fire it and it goes right back to the D. And now we're chasing. Like when I was killing penalties, I'm like, if you can't get it 200 feet, don't feed the points. I'd rather you keep it in the corner and let me come over and our two PK guys come down low. Don't go low high. Like once you go low to high and we don't have it and you give them, and now they're going east to west. To me, Swishy, that's when I was in one. I'm like, fuck, where do I go now? What do I do? Like, it's just chaos.
Yeah, because a lot of times when you're rimming it through the trapezoid all the way up into the end wall, a lot of times the forward or the flanker is going to get it from the opposition. And Obes, the other thing too that a lot of defensemen don't realize is when you're on the PK and you're going back for those pucks, how many times are you really getting hit? Like a lot of times those skilled forwards, they're not even going to finish on you. So if you can throw a little fake clapper like you're going to rim it, a lot of times it just gets them enough out of position where they don't finish their route. They're not going to hit you. And then that's where the middle opens and you just get out of the zone, fella.
Yeah, I mean, no one hits on the forecheck anymore, Dave.
No.
When D-man rim pucks, I'm like, if I was coaching, which will never happen, but I'd be like, listen, fella, he's not going to hit you. You got time, skate. They're all good. Every defenseman now can skate like you. Like, take the fucking net and wheel. And now we got it. Like, they just rim it hard. I mean, I guess that's playing fast. Oh, let's play fast. Let's just rim it up there and get it up. But to me, it's like, you don't have to worry about getting it. If I could go back for a puck, Swishy, and not have to worry about getting fucking drilled by Jordan Tutu or whoever the fuck it was back in the day, I would have fucking got that net every time.
Yes, or at least get your skating started, right?
Yeah.
Those 2 steps so you make the forechecker slide with you. And then, again, you can either make that play where it's the dink play, the reverse, or you have other options that open up. But you don't have to just go back there and just, absolutely wire one around the boards. It's just, most of the times, Obes, it's a turnover, it's a greasy, dirty puck, and you're not going to get possession anyways.
It's not National League, is it? You just rim it up there, hits a skate. comes back in the middle, and now I got a bad gap. Nothing good's going to come out of a bad gap and put me in a foot race. So when we have it and we can control it, me and you we would have been a nice deep pair. And after breaking it down like that for about 10 minutes, we might have to open up our own defense hockey school, eh? I don't know. We'll come up with a name and we'll show the boys how to slow it down, use the middle, D to D hinge.
Used to rattle me so much when coaches would be like, you can go glassing out. I go, yeah, you can't make 8 figures going glassing out.
No.
I'll tell you that. You can't.
No. Later in my career, I maybe should have went a little more glassing out, but throughout my prime, I hated going glassing out. I was like, no way. But to me, going glassing out, like, that's just shoveling your shit somewhere else. Like, okay, yeah, there is a time and a place. We're under pressure, late in the shift. Switch, you get it out. But if I just dump it out when it's the start of a shift or we're fresh, they're going to regroup and come right back down our throat. Now I put my forwards in a situation where they're chasing, my D partner where you're chasing. It's like, it's not the answer. It's the easy way out. But to me, it's not the answer.
3 to 6 foot little plays to get out of the zone, 1 2 little exits. That's how you get out of the zone. Otherwise, like you said, you're just punting and you're living to fight another day.
Yeah. I always used to say,
it's not bad if you need a cigarette quick. You know what I mean? You're sucking some wind, but come on, make a play.
I always used to say, boys, if we were at the club and we were all trying to wheel girls, would we all be at the same table close to each other? We would be, right? We wouldn't be one guy here and one guy at the other side of the bar and the other guy. Like, we're all at our table, nice and close. On the ice surface, stay close to each other and use each other. Like, let's not get spread out here.
Right. You're just because you're wheeling Stacy. Well, I want to meet her friend Ella. And if we're far away, we're not going to be able to do this. I want to run a 2-man system. Come on, fella. Get over here.
Exactly. Like I always said, you're not paying for the booze, especially you're paying for the real estate, fella.
Yes, you are.
Listen, buddy, good to see you. Love snapping it with you. I don't want to complain about heat to you because you've been living in, what do you always say? You could bake a turkey in your glove compartment. Is that one of your
Oh yeah. You could throw it right in the glove compartment and that thing could come out at, just about 3-4 hours, actually less than an oven for sure. It's 475 in there.
I don't want to complain to you, but I guess I'm still going to. We're in a little heat wave out here in Newport, and you spent some time out in Cali. Like, we're really soft. Like, when it comes to weather, we're the softest in the country. Like, we have the best weather. If it rains in the winter, we complain. If there's a little bit of humidity, we can't handle it. And there's a little hurricane coming up from Cabo, I guess Hurricane Mary or something. So it's sticky here right now, and I'm like 2 seconds away from breaking into a full sweat. So if I do, I apologize, but it's sticky here. I'm over it, my man.
How many showers you had a day right now? 2? Or are you just going 1? Because like a lot of times if you go for just even a coffee walk in the morning and when it's sticky out, like you gotta shower. Like otherwise you're chafing all day.
So I wake up, get in the tank, have my swim, shower, grab a coffee, usually get out the door. These last couple of weeks, as soon as I get out the door, I'm in a full sweat, like instantly. Yeah. I'm just like, fuck, I didn't have time to cool down. The humidity hit me. I could use a shower instantly.
Yeah, you're a little dewy Cox.
Little dewy. So anyways, you got some nice weather coming your way, fella. I can't wait for you. I want to talk about a little home by 3 here. I saw you and your boy, the Heat Daddy, at the iconic Mullet Arena, as you call it. First of all, what was that a do-rag or a bandana you had in your bucket? It was unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, full bandito like I was in a Harley gang with Zach Cassian in Windsor.
First of all, who was the tendy that was in there, and how's your body? How's your back feeling after, like, I just think that many breakaways of leaning over. How's the body feeling?
Yeah, so I'll start with our goalie, which was hilarious. We basically threw out a flyer on Twitter or X like 2 weeks ago asking for a goalie. We were supposed to do the shootout challenge like a week ago, but it fell through, so we did it this week. So this kid, shout out to Sweet Lou, as I was calling him, right from the guts of Northwest Indiana. He comes in, Obes. He flies in from Chicago because he had a wedding on Sunday night. So on Monday, he goes out in the West Loop and gets pinned. Tuesday morning, he wakes up at 5 a.m, gets on a plane, lands, comes right to the iconic Mullet, and saves probably about 300 out of 400 breakaways. Like, the challenge was 90 minutes long. It was 100 goals in 90 minutes. This kid actually played goalie with my brother with the Chicago Mission for the 1995 Chicago Mission birth year when Nicky played up. And I didn't remember him, but he told me, and I confirmed it with my bro. He's like, oh my God, yeah. Shout out to him coming on the sheet with you boys. So we did 100 breakaway goals in 90 minutes was a challenge. We ended up getting it, Obes. But dude, afterwards, like my back, when I was texting you that same day on Tuesday, like I was mangled. The next day I woke up, I felt like I played 40 minutes in the National Hockey League. Or it was like my first preseason game of the year. And also my wrist and my forearms feel like I've tugged off myself like over 200 times. Like I can barely feel my wrist right now, bro. I've never done that many breakaways in my life.
No, never. I mean, we would always do breakaways, right? Especially when the shootout came in. I mean, everyone would do it at the end of practice and stuff. I just remember doing a couple of them, and you got to bend over and you got to come in and you're deacon or whatever. I was like, fuck, Swishy's doing that for an hour and a half. That is gonna break out the cold tub after that one. If I was doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I need a full body release, if you know what I mean. But yeah, it was a hell of a shift. It came down to the wire. He was actually a pretty good goalie. I mean, I'm not talking pro level goalie but for a club hockey player, 8 years removed from Indiana University playing D2 club, he was actually a pretty solid goalie. I mean, he played AAA hockey growing up, and he wasn't just giving us the goals. Like, for me, I was a guy that shot in the shootouts in the AHL. I would be the third shooter, usually try to ice the game. In the NHL, obviously, I wasn't sniffing a shootout, but I'm a pretty good shootout specialist. I don't have the TikTok hands like these kids do today, like Trevor Zegras, who can do these crazy moves. So when I run out of my bag of 4 or 5 moves, Obes, I don't even know what to do. So I got to like my 200th breakaway. I'm like, what do I even do? You know what I mean? Like you run out of moves. He starts figuring you out.
I had one move. I would come in as a lefty, come across, low blocker. That was my one move. I called it Old Faithful, low blocky.
Yep.
And then I might have had one other one, maybe a little 5-holer, but after 2, I was it. I was out. I had maybe 1.5 moves, let's call it. And one of them just was come in and rip it low blocker as hard as I could.
Right. That's the thing with me. I mean, I probably got like three to 5 solid moves I can go with. I can go with the little Linus Omar chip shot. I got a little triple deke in my bag, and then I got like around the world Thomas Vanek and then exposed a 5-hole. That's about it. And then from there, it's just like, I don't even know what I'm doing. Then I really look like a defenseman after that. So yeah, bro, my hips and my back, the back is the first thing that goes for me though. And it was hurting, man. It still is a little sore today.
I'll tell you what, I like the around the world too, or circle the wagons. Come in, around the world, circle the wagons, maybe forehand, something like that. I took a couple shootouts in the jungle too, not in the National League, maybe a preseason game in the National League as a joke. I think one time someone's like, oh, you're up third in the shootout in the exhibition. I was like, chin strap undone. I'm like, fuck, why, boys? Let's fire up the bird and get the fuck out of here. Why are we doing shootouts in exhibition? Remember?
Yeah. You're probably like, you're like, Jesus, do I even know how to stick handle at this point?
Yeah,
It's nerve wracking.
First of all, we shouldn't be doing shootouts in exhibition at all. Who cares? And the guys that are doing the shootouts aren't even playing in this game, right? The Sedins are not in this game. So why are we practicing shootouts? No one in this game is going to be in the shootout.
Right, you guys sent us on the road for a reason. We got like 3 National Leaguers. The rest of the team is jungle and East Coast guys. What are we doing?
Let's get the fuck out of here. So
it's an absolute burger of a game.
Yeah. So fellas, check that out on their YouTube, Home by 3. The boys are always creating great content. Swishy, speaking about guys that are at training camp right now that are trying to make hockey clubs, some guys are going in there just for experiences. First day of training camp, it was always kind of a good day, right? You kind of knew, I mean, listen, under Camp John Tortorella, Camp Tortorella, you knew the first couple days were really, really going to sting, right? And then once you got through that, it was a lot easier. It's not like that anymore. I saw some drills today, the boys in Toronto going at it. Saw some footage of Coop and the boys in Tampa going at it. But they're back. You can see the intensity. You can see the excitement. The boys are chirping. The boys are talking. They're passing the puck hard. It's like, all right, here we go. It's go time. As much as we hate training camp, Swishy, but as players, you know it's important.
100%. And the first 3 or 4 days of camp, yeah, it's less physical. There's no fighting in these inter-squad games, or maybe there's a little bit of a dust-up, but nothing like the old school days. But the one thing about the first day and the first couple of days of camps, do you remember just the full ice drills, how much skating you would do? Every drill, from the warm-up drill to the 2-on-1s to the 1-on-1s, everything just is intended to put you into a blender and to make those hips start barking, just to get you acclimated back into what the National League's all about.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter how good a shape you were in all summer and all the the skates you did with the boys before training camp and all the bike rides. You get into the first couple days of training camp, your hip flexors, IT bands are hanging on by a thread. Like the poor trainers, like the training room lineup right now is out the door. The cold tub nowadays, the massage therapist, they got to bring an extra massage therapist for training camp because guys are just fucking in one. You know what I mean? It's like,
yes.
If you see a rookie that's on the massage table, you're looking at him like, hey, Rook, get the fuck out of my way. I'm going in for a deep tissue. It's just like your muscles are barking.
100%. And the other thing is, too, with the young kids out there, they're absolutely flying around. And there was nothing worse, I remember, when you get like a young kid that was buzzing out there, maybe playing junior or maybe in the American League the year prior, and they start doing the beaver paddle where they're tapping their stick, trying to call for a pass. It's like, that is so junior. That is so minor league. If you want the puck, fucking call for it.
Yeah.
That was always my thing. Even as a young guy, I was like, I'm not going to be that pigeon beaver paddling an older veteran, because I saw veterans just snap on guys.
It's a terrible look. And by the way, you're tipping your hand. If I hear you beaver paddling and I'm a D-man, I'm going to step up, right? Like, okay, he's going to give it to this guy. I'm going to step up on you. Like, don't ever beaver paddle. It's the worst thing ever.
No, I just remember that, like, you could just separate just the men from the boys just based on communication, whether you're a beaver paddle guy just tapping your stick, or you're a man where you're barking for the puck. So those are just memories that I have from, my first couple camps, and then, obviously for the years prior.
I was always the 3-hour guy too, right? Like, as soon as it got to 3 hours, I'm like, hey, we're at 3 hours. For the fellas out there that don't know, I don't know if it's still the rule, but in the old collective bargaining agreement, you could only be at the rink for 3 hours a day, and then you physically could leave. Like, you wouldn't, but like sometimes I'd be like, hey, fellas, we're creeping up on 3 hours here. Let's wrap up this fucking bike session or whatever we got going. It's time to go.
Yeah, and then I always hated too when there would be video a lot of times before a skate, so you would have to get dressed 30 minutes before a skate. So say the skate was at 11 o'clock, they'd be like video 10:45. But if you were a younger player, you'd have to get in there so early. And I always hated, especially when I was young with the other unproven guys, when you go in there and be like, why are you going into the video room at 10:30? Like, we have 15 minutes. Like, if you want to go in there early, go in there at 10:40. Don't be such a nut chugger and go in there and just like sit there first row trying to be the coach's pet. I always hated that too, Obes. Yes, it's good to be 5 minutes early, 7 minutes, but there was always those guys going into a video meeting dressed, ready to go, or sitting on the bench waiting for the Zamboni to be done. It's like, fella, fucking chill out. And then they get on the ice while the Zamboni's out there and chew up all the ice. I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing?
I'd always yell, let her freeze, boys. Let it freeze. Hey, let her freeze. Like, what are you guys doing out there? Doing the Indy 500? I hate the guys that ever go sit on the bench before practice, like waiting while the Zamboni gets done. You're like, fella, it's the National League here. Come on.
Yeah.
Tighten it up.
Like, you're not going to make the team just being early, fella. Like, you got to, you got to get on the ice and do your thing.
You can only ball lick your way so far. And then eventually, if you don't have the skill to play in the league, you're not going to make it. Like, it's just how it goes. Just how it goes.
Nut chuggers.
Good luck to the boys. Rest is a weapon. To all those coaches out there, rest is a weapon. Don't bury the boys. You got an 82-game season. Long way to go. 4 rounds of the playoffs if you want to win the Stanley Cup. Rest is a weapon. And to the boys, put the feet up tonight. Watch the Thursday nighter. Relax. A lot of cold tubs. A lot of vitamins. A lot of cold tubs. And then a lot of heat packs tomorrow morning. Hey, give me a heat pack.
Flexol, heat packs, ibuprofen, a lot of coffee, and a lot of chew.
Yeah.
A lot of fucking chew.
Training camp was a time of the year too where I didn't, as a single guy, I didn't chase very much, man. I was so tired and so sore and just worried about recovery. And you're obviously trying to get ready for the season. It was like camp and playoffs were the 2 time of years where I was like really not worried about anything but getting my body recovered and ready to get back and rock, because in camp, you're just trying to be ready to go for opening night. And then obviously playoffs, you're trying to play for the Stanley Cup. But preseason and camp, you got to really take care of yourself, Swishy.
100%. And also, now camp is 2 weeks long for these guys, two and a half weeks.
Yeah.
Obes, when you were in your prime of your career, it was 3 weeks. It was a little over 3 weeks. Man, that's almost a season in itself. Like, You know what I mean? Like, as much as you want to ramp up and get going, I want to be 100% healthy going into this year. So it's kind of a balance for the veteran players. For the guys on the unproven side of the things, or the rookies, you got to be ready to go as if it's game 1, first day. But some of those camps, it would feel like it was so long. Like, I remember I played 7 or 8 games one year. I'm like, uncle, like, Jesus.
1 year in Vancouver, I think we had 8 or 9 preseason games.
That's like insane.
I'm like, fucking 9 preseason games. I played like 7 of them. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is not even power play time either. I'm out there playing the exact same way I would play in a regular season game. Penalty kill, playing against the 3rd and 4th lines. I'm like, if you're going to make me go out here, at least throw me on the second unit peeper. Let me get some touches.
And no shit. Yeah, then you got some meat stick forechecking you. You're like, Jesus Christ. You don't know if Antoine Roussel's going to fucking slew foot you.
Yeah. Listen, I was that guy coming up in the league. I mean, listen, I jumped Owen Nolan in a preseason game. Like, Sean O'Donnell made me go, like, he's like, go apologize to him. Like, you don't do that. as I became a veteran, these guys would try to fight me in preseason. And I had the perfect line that I thought anyways. I'm like, listen, kid, you make the team. When I see you in the regular season, I'll fight you. But I guarantee you, I'm not going to see you. So you think I'm fighting in this preseason game, you're nuts. But you make the team, and when I see you down the road, I'll fight you 100%. These guys that weren't going to make it,
100%. Just meat sticks going back to Portland or Milwaukee. It's like, fella, like, let's do this when we're getting paid.
Yeah, I think you'd like this one too. Then their guys get called up that weren't very good players, and they were acting tough, and then I would try to fight them, and they wouldn't want to fight, and I would be like, hey, listen, bud, you're not a good enough player not to fight. I don't know what you think, but if you want to stay in this league, you better fight me because you ain't fucking good enough not to fight. You'll be back in the jungle tomorrow, bud.
Yeah, you better do something.
You better
fuss fight or hold a light.
Hey, real quick here. Obviously, I get it. All right. Yesterday was media day. People have jobs to do. We're in the media business. I had a great relationship with media guys, especially in Canada, especially in Vancouver, even Calgary, my cup of coffee there. Anytime I went to Toronto, I respect those guys. We all know that Connor McDavid doesn't have a contract. Please, to the people in Canada and Edmonton, stop asking him about it. Let him focus on playing. Let him, Stan Bowman and his agent, and Connor and his family worry about it. These guys are coming into a regular season now. He wants to focus on it. Obviously, there's been a number thrown out. If Connor wants it, he's going to sign it. So to people of Edmonton and Toronto, if you do want him to stay up there, I would suggest, this is my opinion or my advice to you guys up there, stop fucking asking him about it. And then to my fellow team, the Vancouver Canucks and all the boys in that city, listen, we've all heard the rumors, Swishy. The Hughes brothers want to play together. I'm sure you would have loved to play with Nicky, right? And if I had a brother, I would love to play with him. There's no secret there. But please, as an ex-Canuck alumni, do not bug Quinn Hughes with this. There's a lot on his plate to begin with. No one knows what their team's going to be like. They got Adam Foote, who I love as their new head coach. He's the captain of the hockey club. They got new pieces coming in. We're not sure what's going to go on with Pettersson. Like, let Quinn Hughes focus on hockey and do not bug him with all these stupid fucking questions about where, if you want to play for your brother, where are you going to go, this and that. To me, Swishy, for two elite players, you don't want to give them another reason to leave town and bugging them about this shit. Let them focus on hockey.
Oh, I 100% agree. And look, we're on the media side of things too. So we do understand that these guys, they have a job to do, right? It is what it is in that sense, but you don't need to be asking them every fucking day.
Yeah.
Like, let it breathe. Let's focus on camp. Let's focus on the positive things as we roll into the regular season. We haven't even gotten to the exhibition season yet. Now that the puck is dropped at camp, let's talk about the team. Let's talk about different storylines within the group. How are we going to be better this year? How are we going to respond in different ways? But it just gets exhausting. Like, these guys, that's the last thing they want to talk about. And also, newsflash, they're not going to give you a fucking answer.
Yeah.
So whatever you think you're going to pry out of them just while continually asking them, trying to break them down, these guys don't give a fuck. They're going to give you the same answer. So shut up. Like, just let them play hockey.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
And listen, I think we could all agree that Connor McDavid, I don't know him, seems like a good Canadian lad, right? Good Ontario boy. He's the face of the league. He does all the right things. Like, don't put him into a situation where he's going to have to, I don't want to use the word lie, but tiptoe around the question, right? Like, don't continue to make Connor, like, it's clear he's not sure if he wants to stay or not. He's the best player in the fucking world. He has the right, with his family, his representatives, to realize what's the next best thing for him. It could still be the Edmonton Oilers, but quit putting this guy in a situation where he has to tiptoe around the question so he doesn't fucking say the wrong thing. Like, just leave him alone. Let him play. Let him decide. And if I'm the Edmonton Oilers, focus on making the hockey club better. And to the media, just like you said, let him play, because I feel bad for him watching him with Elliot Friedman and the other guy from Sportsnet. It's like he's trying to just tell you, like, tiptoe around, and you're putting him in a tough spot, in my opinion, Swish.
Yeah, and ultimately, you're not going to know his answer until he signs or doesn't sign. Yeah. So what are you, like, he's not going to show his cards. He told you that he wants to wait to see how this season goes, play it out a little bit, reevaluate as we get into the later months, and take his time with it. He has earned that right as the best player in the world, arguably the best player of all time, to take his time, evaluate Edmonton, explore maybe some different angles that he could maybe end up doing. The guy wants to win a Stanley Cup. Yeah. And I'm not saying it's not in Edmonton. I'm just saying he's going to take a little time to put pen to paper to make sure this is the best spot for him. So let him take his time, and have some goddamn respect at the end of the day.
Yeah, well said. And like my coaches used to tell me, less is more. So I think when it comes to Connor and asking him questions, less is more right now. We went right back. I'm Missin Curfew. Welcome back to Missin Curfew. DraftKings, baby. Bets, and more bets. Presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Swishy, it's week 3 before you know it. Tonight is the Thursday nighter. I think if Buffalo really kicks the shit out of Miami, that coach, Mike McDaniels, he might be heading to the exits. So I got the Bills tonight, but is there any games you want to jump out at you that you might want to tickle over the weekend?
Yeah, I'm looking at this Sunday tilt on the Mistake by the Lake. That is in Cleveland, Ohio. We're going over to Cleveland, folks. Shout out to the Clee. I got the Green Bay Packers Obes in that game. Now, that's going to be on Fox. And just the way that the Packers are rolling, the way Jordan Love hasn't even really found his best yet, but they've just been steamrolling teams. I think that's a great look at a game as a lock for Swishy. That's going to be -7 and a hook for Green Bay at Cleveland. Yeah, Cleveland's got a decent D, but I think Green Bay goes in there and shit kicks them. So I'm looking at that game. I'm looking at my Packers, the green and yellow, baby. That is my lock for this week, my friend.
I love it. By the way, I'm all over your Packers. I took them to win the NFC. I took them to win the Super Bowl. And I just put in a little bet yesterday on DraftKings for a Bills Packers Super Bowl at plus. I got it at, what I got it at? 1,000 to win 12,000 or something. Pretty good odds. Bills, Packers. Yep. I love the Packers. I think with Parsons, the way they can come at him, Jordan Love, and you said about Favre being 27, Rodgers being 27, now Love's 27. I believe in that shit too, man. I'm like, wow, this could be lining up for the cheeseheads.
Yeah, 100%. And I just think even Micah Parsons through the first few weeks has been limited to his snaps. He's chomping at the bit to get going. He was nursing that back injury a little bit. I think Jordan Love is continually going to get better as the season goes. And I mean, if I'm looking at that game, I don't know anything, but I just think 7.5 points. I think Green Bay covers that. I think they're going to go in there. Their defense has been solid, and they're just going to get it done against Cleveland. And honestly, I think they're going to shit kick them. So that's my lock, my friend.
Poor Cleveland. The good people of Cleveland, Ohio. Poor Cleveland.
The mistake on the lake, baby.
The mistake on the lake. Fella, I got the Ravens against the Lions. I got the Ravens at home. Lamar Jackson's numbers against the NFC North are absolutely ridiculous. I don't think the Lions defense is as good as it was last year, losing their coordinator. So I think you could take Ravens money line at maybe buy it down to 4. It's -4.5 right now on DraftKings. I also like Ravens over tees and maybe the over just in general in that game of over, where is it here? Over 53.5. I just think the Ravens are going to score a ton of points. And I do think Jared Goff and the Lions are going to get in there. My second one I'm going to tickle this weekend. I like Cowboys money line heading into Chicago. I also like Cowboys over tees and over in that game as well. And then last but not least for me, Patty Mahomes and the Chiefs heading into Let Russ Cook and the New York Giants. It's -6. That's a tough line on the road. But like we talked about last year, Swishy, when it came to the Cincinnati Bengals when they started 0-2, the Chiefs cannot start 0-3. I don't know if you got to tease that down and take the over or whatever, because -6 on the road scares me a bit. But Swishy, the Chiefs are not losing 3 in a row. They're going to get it done at MetLife in Jersey.
Yeah, and listen, they've lost to 2 quality teams, right? So their 0-2 is maybe not, it doesn't jump off the board as concerning quite yet. But yeah, 2 is a fluke, 3 is a streak, Obes. If we're talking gambling, they got to get it done. You can't lose and go 0-3. Can't go full turkey right away. So I look at that game. They're going to win. I do think they cover. I hate Russell Wilson, Patty Mahomes, Kelsey. These guys are going to march in there, and I think they're going to get the job done over at MetLife Stadium. So look for that game. I like that game as well, my friend.
Another one, Seahawks -7.5. I got home against the Saints. I think they cover that money line. And then the game of the week may very well be Coach Payton, who's an absolute fucking beauty. Going in to SoFi against the LA Chargers. Listen, this Herbert, he's healthy. He can run. I forgot how mobile he was, Swishy, for being 6'6". He's like the perfect build for a quarterback. Chargers -2.5. I don't know who's going to win that game, but Swishy, that could be the game of the week out here on the West Coast, my man.
100%. I love the way Herbert slings it. He's just got that make and model of a quarterback in the NFL that can sit there in the pocket and just sling dimes. Oh, it's the other game. I mean, now that we're sprinkling the whole fucking board here, One other game I like are the Buccaneers at home against the Jets. I'm looking at that. I think DK's got that -6 or -6 in a hook. Baker Mayfield, I love this dude. And you know what I mean? Like he's a guy that I like to root for. I saw him in Tampa this summer when we were there for the golf trip. He was sitting there having beers with all of his offensive linemen. He just looked like a guy's guy and a quarterback you would love to play with.
He's my favorite player. I've come to that conclusion. Yeah. I loved him even coming out of Oklahoma. I thought Cleveland made the right choice picking him first overall. Didn't work out there. Then he goes to Carolina. It's a shit show. Flies across the country to play for the Rams, wins that game, and then now it's found a home in Tampa Bay. Like, I love the Buccaneers team. If it wasn't for the Packers, and the Birds, of course, the Eagles are going to be a problem. But I love this Buccaneers team, and Baker Mayfield is my favorite player in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm a big fan, man. And you know what? When he first came into the league, I actually wasn't a fan. I thought he was a little cocky, unproven, kind of like a knockoff poor man's Johnny Manziel, and he has just totally turned it around for me. I'm a massive fan. I love this Buccaneers team, and I just thought it was so cool. It was in the middle of the summer, and he's down in Tampa already. They maybe had their OTAs or whatever they were doing, but he was sitting there at that bar with all of his offensive linemen. I'm like, all right, that's cool. You know what I mean? Taking care of the fellas.
Yeah. By the way, you got it. That's your bread and butter, those big boys. You got to protect those boys and then get them a nice gift at the end of the season, right? Nice rollie or something, whatever you got to do.
Yeah. No, you don't got to go full Daytona, but, Submariner or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Boys, always gamble responsibly, but get some skin of the game at DraftKings Sportsbook. Moving on, Swishy, get this guy a Labatt Blue. Brought to you by Labatt. With Labatt, you can buy beer and get gear. Go to their website, snap a photo of your receipt, and upload it to gain points towards exclusive merch. Any size, any product, anywhere you're buying Labatt. Sign up at rewards.labattusa.com. I got 3 here, Swishy. I'm going to start off. Ovi, get yourself a Labatt Blue. I saw he got injured today in the first skate, so I hope he's all right. But turned 40 years old a couple days ago. Welcome to the club, Ovi. The greatest goal scorer to ever play the game is still out there with the young kids. Eating Subway, eating Doritos. He's an old school pro. I know he loves Labatt Blue. So, Ovi, get yourself a Labatt Blue. Clayton Kershaw is going to retire at the end of the year. Another big old farm boy that loves Labatt Blues. I can guarantee it. The guy's numbers, if you look at them, are absolutely insane. So get yourself a Labatt Blue. Clayton Kershaw on a hell of a career. And last but not least, our boy Ryan Smith. This guy is a national leaguer. He goes, brings a team to Utah, Salt Lake City, and builds them the sickest practice facility, brand spanking new. The rink looks awesome. The workout facilities look great. That's how you make guys want to come play for you. Ryan Smith gets it. More owners need to be like this. So, Smitty, good on you. The facility looks unreal. Swishy, you can tag this. You've probably been talking to Nikki. But that's what it's all about, the little things in ownership. You get a team in there, you build them a great facility. Smitty, get yourself a Labatt Blue fella.
Yeah, it looked unbelievable. And I don't know if you saw the behind-the-scenes things that the Utah Mammoth threw out there, Obi, but there was a clip of Smitty. He was walking some executives through. I don't know if it was on the front office side, in and around the organization, or just people, stopping through. And he was giving them a tour. And he was showing them the cold tub, the massive hot tub that they can fit all the boys in there so you can go full wrench fest if you want. He was walking through that area. And he goes, yeah, we got the sauna and the steam. The steam is big enough for a team steam. Yeah, we got a team steam. So it's pretty cool because he gets that camaraderie. He gets that the fellas all want to be together. He gets that it's bigger than, it goes beyond the ice. And those little details like that, whether the whole team's going to take a steam together, but maybe 10 of the boys after a nice night out or a rookie party, they jump in there and they just sweat it out, get the Vicks Vapor Rub going. That is so big for the bonding of the team. The facilities are first class. I think they got an unbelievable chef in there now, Obes. So those are the little things, man. And that's how you win. You win by the facilities you create, the atmosphere you create, and the overall vibe of the team. And that was state of the art. And that's how you get guys to want to play somewhere is elite off-ice facilities. And even on the ice, the arena looks cool, the practice rink. So shout out to Smitty. I know he doesn't drink, but get him a cold Labatt Blue NA fella. And enjoy that with all your brothers over there at the Latter-day Saints.
Yeah, he doesn't drink. You're right about that. I forgot Smitty doesn't drink.
So, yep. So, Smitty, get a Sprite in you, whatever you need.
Yeah, Smitty, listen, we'll drink the Labatt Blues for you, buddy. We're just handing them out to you because you're an absolute beauty. You want to dish any, Swishy?
I was just, you know what? I was going to give one to Clayton Kershaw. I really was.
Okay.
The old Southpaw, 11-time All-Star, Obviously won the Cy Hung. He's been an MVP, World Series, just a good old Southern boy, chew-in, lefty. I loved watching this guy play, and all he wanted to do was play baseball, low-profile, country boy. So if he was probably not a Hall of Famer on the mound, he would probably be like a construction guy, just somewhere in the backwoods of Georgia or North Carolina, wherever he's from, throwing in fat chews, drinking moonshine, and hanging out on his rocking chair. So I just want to give him some love. That was unbelievable.
Yeah, that's well said. His numbers are out of this world. Like, if you take a dive into him, his numbers are crazy. And the same things that you just said is why I love him. Just a big country boy, threw chews in, always had the cut off sleeves, like just a big lefty. And good on him. I think he's going to pitch in the playoffs maybe, so hopefully we'll see him. But what a great career. And I know Smitty doesn't drink blue lights, but I guarantee you Clayton Kershaw could take down a 12-pack, no problem.
Yeah, that's probably just, an hors d'oeuvre for him, right? That comes before the appetizer, the moonshine and the whiskey, and who knows. I would like to have one with him.
Guarantee he likes a nice whiskey. A little One Rock, as you would say. A little One Rock.
Ooh. Oh,
I can't wait to get
stiff.
Fuck, I haven't seen you in a while. We need a couple One Rocks together. We got to make that happen sooner than later.
I know, fella. Either get there and sometime in October in the next couple of weeks, or we'll figure it out.
Moving on here, boys. Always drink responsibly, but get yourself some Labatt Blues. A nice little fridge right here, just ice cold, ready to rock. It is the Missin Curfew Dog of the Week. Going back to media day, the absolute beauty, Craig Berube, Chief. They asked him what he was looking forward to the most, and he answered, he's like, I'm looking forward to not having to hear about the Core 4. And I was like, you know what, Chief? Good for you, man, because there has been a lot of that talk over the years. Obviously, they haven't had the success they want. They finally went out there, credit to Brad Treliving. I like this hockey club. Dakota Joshua, love his game. Big Wah from Vegas, long Stanley Cup champ, like him. He went out and got some character guys. I think Mitch Marner's going to have a hell of a fucking year out here in Vegas and a great, 7-8 years he's going to be out here. But I just thought it was great for Craig Berube to finally say, I'm looking forward to a new team, a new image. I don't have to talk about the Core 4 anymore. So Swishy, Chief, you beauty, you're my dog of the week. I absolutely love that.
I love that. Yeah, Chief. Shout out to Chief, man. Even though we never agreed on how I should play the game of ice hockey, he was always such a stand-up dude to me. A guy that would call it like you see it, and a complete nail gun, if you will. So I love that he just shut the people up right away. And Obes, you know that when you have a coach like that he doesn't have a big personality, but he has a big presence. You know what I mean? And especially to quiet things down, to take the focus off of distractions, to alleviate some of that just attention some of these guys get. A strong-minded, hard-headed guy like Craig Berube, yeah, he has an unbelievable personality off the camera. I'm just saying more so what you see from the media. He's just got that presence, that aura to him where it's like, all right, if he's talking to Mark Masters or whatever, he's like, all right, he can subtly just say with just his look in his eye, kindly fuck off. So that's big to have as a coach, and he's a nail gun, and guys love him. So that's a great one there. Obes, my Missin Curfew dog of the week. I'm going over to 22-year-old defenseman Jabril Torre. Now, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but this kid plays for the Ottawa Senators in some capacity. I don't know if he's going to play in the American League, the East Coast League this year, but he went into the chin of a rookie camp the other week, got into a little bit of a tussle, and underneath that bucket was a do-rag. Now, as a do-rag guy myself, I loved it. So when I saw that, I tweeted out, I said, is this the first time in hockey history we've seen a do-rag under the bucket? Because I think it could be. So I wanted to give this kid some love. He said he was just showing out for his culture. I love that. Hockey needs a little bit of diversity, a little bit of a different spunk. So when you show up in a do-rag under the bucket, I am going to ultimately call you this week's Missin Curfew dog of the week. I love it, fella.
I saw that. I saw you posted when I was dying. I'm like, yeah, good for that. You a little swag, eh? Bring a little swag to the team. I love it.
Fuck yeah. Yeah. Be you, baby. Whatever you need to do to feel confident and be yourself, do it.
Exactly. Well said, my man. Last but not least here, before we get to our guest, it is the Kits Eyewear Dish of the Week. But before we get into that, we huddled up with the team. Roger and Katie and everyone at Kits is unbelievable. So moving on. First of all, boys, you got to get out there and get your prescriptions. You got to get out there and get your prescriptions. Once you get that, you just go on Kits Eyewear, fill it out, pick your frames, pump your prescriptions in, but you got to get out there and get your prescriptions. Next thing you know, knock on the door, Kits Eyewear. But Kits is such good team, guys. Promo code Curfew will now get you 40% off any Kits frames you want. Sunglasses they can put prescriptions in, and any frames you want. Pump in promo code Curfew, and now it's 40% off. Keith's team guy, Swishy.
Yeah, and you know what, Obes, you got a ton of different lenses. You always rock them well. I got a few pairs of mine. I've gotten a ton of compliments on my aviators. I actually have a pair of lenses that don't have prescription in them, but it makes me look a little bit smarter. So I like to rock those. Makes me look a little bit more sophisticated, if you will. So go check those out. 40% off, fella.
40%
That's a steal. That's a steal.
By the way, if you're a single guy, you get a different couple pairs, different looks, mix it up. It's not bad to have some options, is it, Swishy?
Never a bad thing to have options, no matter what it is in life, brother.
Boys, stick with us here. The Kits Eyewear Dish of the Week. We're staying on the gridiron. We got playoff preseason hockey coming, but right now, we just talked about him. Justin Herbert broke my heart. I took the Raiders, never bet on Geno Smith again. But Justin Herbert with this absolutely dime pass to Johnston. He just came back, couple steps, and so easy, dropped it right in the bucket. It's our Kits Eyewear Dish of the Week, and it was the nail in the coffin for my bet against the Raiders. Swishy, Justin Herbert made it look so easy. Boom, effortlessly, right to Johnston, right in the breadbasket. Touchdown, corn dogs, Kits Eyewear Dish of the Week. Fella.
Great dish, Obes. Great call. He had a couple dimes in that game. One to Keneen Allen, two in the corner of the end zone. Yeah, this guy, if I'm buying stock, and I'm buying stock right now, I'm looking at Justin Herbert because his game continues to elevate. Despite that goal line stand that Jeremy Chin made on the boys late in that game, they were able to respond, get the win. That was a great dish. Great call, fella.
That's awesome. Now, that was a good. Listen, the Chargers defense is no joke. So, speaking of no joke, our guest coming up, good Saskatchewan boy, just got rewarded with a nice 3-year ticket from the Calgary Flames. Connor Zary coming up next here at Missin Curfew. Welcome back to Missin Curfew. Updog Richie, good Saskatchewan boy, plays the game the right way. Got rewarded with a nice little 3-year ticket.
I say right before the season started. Did that ever happen to you? Did that ever happen to you? Follow 3 years.
Oh, I was in Cabo with you when they offered me a 3-year deal, and you're like, "Should I take this?" She's like, "Yeah, you should take it." I get to offer you a 3-year deal, but Connor Zary, fella, congratulations. We're all big fans of you here. I watch a lot of Flames games because of my boy Weegsy, baby. I love your game, and congrats on the 3-year ticket, my man. That's got to feel good heading into a new season.
Appreciate it. Yeah, it feels unreal to get it done finally. It took a little bit, but it's done now, and I'm fired up.
Yeah, so you don't have to take us too deep into it, but how did it work for you throughout the summer? Was your agent talk to them? Was 3 years what you wanted, or did you want a little more long term? Or just walk us through as much as you can give us on that process.
Yeah, for sure. I think you guys have all been through it before, but yeah, it took a little while. I think it was just kind of a little bit back and forth, kind of call 1 week, wait a couple weeks, hear from them again, and you know how it goes. You don't agree on something, so then it takes a couple more weeks, talk again, don't agree on something, a couple more weeks. So it was definitely a kind of a different process for me. You know, I had played on like a 4-year entry level, so it was really my first contract kind of negotiations to go through that. But like I said before, and kind of just fired up to get it done. It was getting close there. It was getting a little spicy. Once it got to September, I was like, shit, let's just get this done. I just want to be there for the start of camp. So, like I said before, I'm just happy it's done now, and that whole process and 3 years was something that was kind of agreed upon earlier in the talks. Obviously, if some came up long term, we probably would have looked that way. But I think three years was easy to agree upon and get me a chance to come back after having a tough year with injuries in last year and enough time to prove myself and show who I am as a player and keep building on my game.
Yeah, see, that's a great point by you. You know, as much as I sit on this podcast and I chirp how much I hated training camp and all the fitness testing and all that, like, it's so important to be there for training camp, right? To be with the boys when it starts, to get your reps in, to get your exhibition games in, even though we all don't like them, because it's so important to be ready to fly come opening night when you guys, start your season, right?
Yeah, 100%. And I think just even going through that last year, it's kind of the same idea. Like, you get hurt, you miss 2 weeks, you get back on the ice. It's kind of like, holy shit, like where am I? Like, where did my hands go? Where did my feet go? And you get back in your first game or something after being injured, and it's like, why is this 100 times faster? So I think it was just big for me. I think, like you just mentioned, just getting your reps in training camp and flying the day of and playing those preseason games and really getting those under your belt and feeling good. So I don't think that was ever a worry for me, but like I said before, I definitely got hairy once it got into September and without a deal.
Yeah, Connor, I think we speak for ourselves here too, is we've all been through like our first couple deals where you realize the business side of things are something you can't really control. And what you've from, Obi watches a lot of Calgary games. Obviously, Rich, who was working with you guys the last few years, but we watch a lot of your games, and your play on the ice speaks for itself. I know you went through some injuries and stuff, so maybe getting that deal closer to camp is probably better for you because it kept you hungry throughout the summer. You don't want to be, the middle of June going, fuck boys, I just see all your boys back home. I just got this 3-year ticky now. Let's hit the boat. Let's buy some stuff. It probably kept you straight, but just a little on your summer. Where do you spend your summers? I know you're a Sasky boy, but, in a Western leaguer, we'll chat about the Blazers here in a second, but where do you spend your summers? How was your summer? Do you feel like you're ready to rock and roll for camp?
Yeah, no, it's the last one first. Yeah, I feel great. So all good, all healed up. Had a good summer, right from the start and right from the get go. And I kind of agree with you guys. It kind of kept me hungry, a little bit of FU in me to kind of keep trying to prove myself to myself that I was gonna get a deal, but I didn't have it yet, so I had to keep working. So definitely that was added a little extra hunger for me and for summer, yeah, I'm just back in Saskatchewan. I love going back there. It's home. Obviously I got a new deal now, but I spent the summer in parents' basement again. So it's always nice going home and having home cooked meals. But I think maybe now I have to look at finding a place maybe for the summer back home. But I like going back to Saskatchewan. We have a good group of guys, and it kind of feel like sometimes the worst part about summer is you don't get to come into the locker room every day and kind of joke around with the boys and kind of hang out, but having the group we have, you get to go to the gym, get to go to the rink and still do those things. And then you add in the golf course, and obviously they're not like it is down in Cali, but for you guys, but the golf's still fun when you're with the fellas and getting out there all summer.
Are you playing out at Moon Lake, or what is it out there?
I played a few rounds at Moon Lake. I had a membership just outside the city this year, but I still spread it all over with whoever wants to play wherever.
Nice. I was just going to talk. I've got to work with you guys for a little bit and was with the team, but I think Connie's done a really good job. He's locked up a lot of kind of young core pieces, and when you and Matty Coronado and Farabee and Wolf and a few guys in the back end having Weeks there. But how do you feel like going into the season with your young core and kind of building that team up?
Yeah, I know. I think we've done a really good job. Obviously, there's a lot of young guys coming to and pushing, but I think obviously the guys we have and the guys you just mentioned are all hungry. And you look around the league at obviously the teams that maybe don't have that superstar, that McDavid or whatever. You got to build through your organization, and you have to have guys like us that need to step up and take a step kind of every year when you're young, and as you get a little bit more experience in the league. I think that's huge for us because that's the guys that make a difference. I think you look around, everyone knows what Weegsy's going to do. Everyone knows what Hughes going to do. Everyone's going to know what Naz is going to do backs and those guys are going to push. So, and know what they bring to the table every night, but it's on us to take that extra step, get that 5% better. Hey, maybe you put in 4 more goals this year, but maybe 2 of those are game winners, right? And that's 2 more points. For last year, if we had 2 more points, we make the playoffs. So I think it's just little things like that where young guys got to step up and start taking that ownership of playing better and playing consistent.
Weegsy Baby's going to complain every day. Eh? You can count on that. You can count on Weegsy going to complain about something.
Not after he got that Cadillac Escalade truck.
Fuck all the. I know. What do you say? He goes, my favorite thing is the automatic doors. I'm like, he doesn't have to open the door. It's nice for him. Hey, he's like, I don't have to open the door. You can save some energy there. Hey, I was talking to him last year. Like, how's the body feeling? Oh, playing too many minutes. But he's a beauty.
Yeah, he's a warrior.
Yeah. Hey, see, I want to go back a little bit. Obviously you're a Kamloops Blazer where the Updog played, but I want to talk to you about your little stint in Stockton. I played against Stockton when I was in San Diego. Gritty town. What did you think coming from Kamloops and Saskatchewan? And then next thing you know, they throw you in the middle of Stockton, California with the Diaz brothers. That place is a great place, huh?
Yeah, it was definitely something special. I think when you're there, you're like, where am I? Like, what am I doing? But now I'm 4 years out of being there. It's like I have so many stories and so many things to laugh about just like being there. Like for example, like when I was living with Jacob Pelletier that year. It's both our first year pro, and we're going to Stockton, California. We're going down to the American League, and we're like, hey, like let's find a place together. Like, so there's this little wine town just out of Stockton. We're like, oh, like let's just find an Airbnb, try and message them and get a place. And this place looks really good on Airbnb. All the pictures, like, oh, it's a nice place. Like they renovated the place, like it looks good. We get there and we're like, what is this place? Like we have the right address, and we're kind of just on this little side street. It's just this old brick like little bungalow, and we're like, this can't be the place. There's bars on all the windows. There's a cage on the door. And where are we? And we look at the listing. We're like, oh, it makes sense. They didn't really show much of the outside of the house or anything. And we get inside, and there's like, okay, the living room's decent, but the rest of the house was just like kind of run down a little bit. And we're like, well, screw it, we're here now. We paid the deposit and everything, and we were kind of in on a 9-month lease. So we kind of pretty much lived in a bit of a prison cell. My bedroom was all wood paneling. His was like a brick prison cell with a little 4x4 window at the back. Now that you look at it, it's pretty funny, but when we were there, I can't believe you had two guys playing professional hockey living in a trap house.
All right, I know. And like, is it true or not? See, like we went in there to play the guys, and a guy by the name of Patrick Sealoft, who I played with at Abbotsford, was in Stockton the year after me, and I'm like talking about Stockton. He's like, yeah, the cops came in at the start of the year, was like, hey, you can't go to this part of town, and you got to stay at this part of town. You can literally go to the rink and then home, right? Is that kind of how it was?
Yeah, it was honestly exactly like that. Like we lived half hour from the rink, so we were honestly nowhere near Stockton, but there's some pretty greasy areas. Like there's a lot that went on, and a lot that you just like, you'd look at your phone, like someone would be running like a media page for stock, and you're like, oh, shooting. But honestly, like there were some really nice parts. We got to kind of golf all year long, which was a bonus. But when you look back, there's a lot of crazy things. Like I remember we drove to the rink one morning, and me and Pelts were looking out the window of his car. Like, why is there crime scene tape around the police stations right where we got off the freeway by the rink? We're like, why is there crime scenes? And we look it up on our phones, and someone that morning, early in the morning, had gone and like shot up the police station and got shot back by the police. And it was just like that kind of thing you just like can't make up. It's like a movie. It's like, where am I?
Dude, I was playing there. Shout out to Harry Zolarchuk. I'm like, let's go to a movie. We got San Diego Gulls fucking tracksuits on, and I had a Breitling like this, but brighter and bigger. And we come out of the fucking movie theater, and it was not the Diaz's, but I'm sure they were buddies with them. And they're there, and they start walking at us, and Z goes, what do we do? I go, we fucking run. He's like, yeah, and we'll just fucking took off and ran back to the hotel. I'm like, those guys were about to fucking jump us, man. Yeah. Like, no joke. They were, what do we do? I'm like, run.
No,
You're like, I don't
it
wanna
was,
play tonight, but I'd rather not
something
do that.
special for sure.
Yeah, I wasn't exactly fucking at my playing weight either. I had to really hustle out that fucking tracksuit's so tight on me.
No, yeah, so it was awesome. There were some really good people there, but definitely like there's so many stories. It just like it was definitely just something special.
Connor, just a little bit about your upbringing. You and I, similar paths. We, a little bit of Tier 2 junior. I grew up in Fort McMurray, Alberta. You're Sasky. But we played for the Kamloops Blazers, legendary organization, the WHL. A little bit of World Juniors, and now you're getting to play in the West in the NHL. I never got a chance to play in Canada, let alone like in the West Coast. So, just a couple parts to that. Your first couple years in Kamloops, what was that like? You got great ownership there with like Donor, Recchi, Sador, Aginla. Were those guys like ever around in training camps coming in? Do you remember when you were younger? And then just, what that's like to be a Western leaguer and playing in Calgary, and like having your boys probably always calling you for tickies and showing up and stuff.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Kamloops was so great. Like when you think of places you can play in junior and Western League, like Kamloops has always got to be at one of the top places. Just the weather, just the city, the organization, how many guys have graduated out of there, and how many studs have kind of gone through there. And like you'd mentioned, just with the ownership group, like I'd seen all those guys come around. Like it's not like they just own the team and never seen anything. Like I met Rex a couple times, Donor, Iggy, and obviously Iggy's in Calgary with Calgary legend, obviously. But all those guys, and Sitter was one of our coaches, and it was always around the ring because he lived in Kamloops. But and then Tom Glardy, and he was around all the time too. And just getting to know those guys and how elite they were. And you just look at the board, or when they won 3 Memorial Cups in 4 years, I think that's it was such a cool organization. And then, like I said, is like you come out of the rink some days and in January is already +10, and you're not really getting much better than that in Canada. So it was an awesome place. I learned a lot. I had a lot of good teammates, a lot of good coaches, and then to kind of go through that and stay in the West in Calgary and get drafted to a place besides Edmonton, closest to Saskatoon, and have family close by and friends and people always around, and being in a Canadian city is pretty special.
Uppy's girlfriends might have been billets, when you were there by that time. Oh yeah, she's a billet now. I'll tell you her. How's she doing with this?
The eight breath, you ate too much, Connor. You and I, so you're good there. Like you kind of look a little.
Oh, I'm saying they could be billets,
Yeah, you guys kind of look similar.
Scotty, I'm so I used to high school with them. I'm a billet now here for the team though.
No, hey, great place to grow up though. Like we had so much fun. Like you have different little areas of town, and I actually went up there for the Memorial Cup 2 years ago. I'm not sure if you were still playing in Calgary at the time, but they had a ton of old guys back there. I was with Joel Edmondson. They had a great team. They had that Zellweger, and they had Stank, as you like to call him.
Stank Oven.
Stanky. Who, by the way, I checked out your team. He played with you at he must have been 15 or 16. He came in for a few games and had 7 goals in 5 games. Was he? Do you remember that? Were you on his squad then?
Yeah, he was the lead. I played with him, so he would have been 15, and then when it was COVID, which would have been my last year, he was 16. I want to say I played with him 1 or 2 years, and I still keep in touch with him, see him all the time. Obviously, play against him still, and you could just tell when he first came, he was just kind of, who's this short, stocky kid? And then you get on the ice and you're like, oh my God, can he rip the puck? And he's got the long stick that's taller than him, and he kind of just buzzes around like a little chainsaw, and then he gets the puck in the slot and it's under the bar. So you could tell he was special, and you could tell, I could even tell, when his draft came up, I was like, you could just tell that, as someone who'd been around him for a couple years, how underestimated he was getting just because he was a smaller guy. But I think he's just so strong, and the way he shoots his puck. I remember watching that draft when it was his turn. I was like, there's no way this guy's falling out of the first round. I couldn't believe he didn't get picked in the first round, because obviously he had all the talent and everything, and obviously he got really underestimated. But look where he is now, and the contract he signed, where Carolina believed in him enough to give him those years, and obviously he's going to make good on it, because I know what type of player and person he is, and how much he grinds. But yeah, he's a sick player, and you could just tell from his 15, he was already shooting puck harder than anyone on the team. So he's definitely a special player, and we had a lot of guys like that kind of come through, and just guys through Kamloops. So it was pretty sweet.
Richie, before I turn over to you, I watched that Memorial Cup, and the thing about Stank is how upset, how emotional he was when they lost. You could see how much it meant to him to be a Kamloops Blazer. He was choked when
was Peterborough. Peterborough was
Pete, but the Peterborough Pete's from the Ontario League, Rich? That's where the ball too. Yeah,
boy, there it is.
Ontario League. Come on over, I'll fucking have you over there.
I kicked the shit out of the Blazers one game, but he did not give up on a shift. I was like crazy. This kid's fucking.
That's when the first time I saw him, I'm like, I like this kid.
Yeah,
Stank Oven, I thought his name was. Go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, Connor, I just want to jump back to the minors a little bit. Obviously we all want to go right to the NHL and get there and not play in the minors, but watching you kind of develop in Calgary, and then when you come up and you played your games with Calgary, you were ready to go, you were confident, and you're making plays. Just kind of looking back and dissecting it, how important was, your time with the Wranglers and having that time to kind of develop and be ready for the NHL?
Yeah, for sure. It was always huge. I think that's so big in my development. I think any player's development, really, there's probably only a couple guys every year that are 18, 19 that can step right into the NHL. So I think it was so big for me to go taste professional hockey, get an understanding of what only I had to bring on the ice and do all that, but what kind of takes off the ice, and just kind of be part of the fellas, and just the bus trips and the commercial flights and everything like that, and just the grind of everything, and how much that kind of makes you want to work to make the NHL. So I think that's huge for me, and I think just the time kind of just marinating down there, and I think when it got to my second year in the American League, I felt I was ready. So I think that gave me a lot of hunger as well to kind of keep pushing. And I was playing, and I didn't get that opportunity my second year. And I remember talking to a few guys in the summer back home, and a guy had told me, you want to be in that situation when you get called up, you don't get sent back down. And I know that happens a lot of times when you're a younger guy and you're not ready. So I just want to make sure I was ready and I was prepared for that moment, and never look back. And and I kind of just wanted to take it and run with it. So I think that was huge for me to get that chance to develop my game in the American League and really understand as a whole what it takes to play pro hockey.
Yeah, well, you did a great job. You really, really took advantage of it. But it makes you, riding those buses really makes you appreciate the NHL, doesn't it?
All that cold pizza.
For sure, no.
Pizza on the bus. You're like, fuck, get me out of here.
Pizza and piss jugs.
100%.
Chew cups, chew spitters, pizza. You're like, pizza left side. Maybe I'll buy that. See, I want to ask you, being a good Saskatchewan boy and playing in Kamloops and spending some time in the jungle, I'm always interested with the young guys. Like, what players did you look up to, in the league before you? Is there anyone you wanted to kind of stimulate your game around? Or who did you watch growing up that you liked the way they played the game in the National League?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, the easy answer would always be Crosby. I think that's a guy as a kid from Canada that every single guy in the world watched. So he would be an easy answer. I think another guy for me, just being a Sask guy, would be like a Braden Shen. I think just him playing juniors, came back to Saskatoon for a Memorial Cup, and then just seeing the type of game he's always played as a pro. I think that's something you always respect and what he's done in his career. And I think it all kind of leads back to just him being a Sask guy and someone you can look up to. So that's definitely a guy, just obviously Crosby, but then like a guy like Braden Shen, just kind of a legend, especially in Sask.
I thought I might have got a Ryan Getzlav out of him too, man. Hey, what about see back in the day or no?
Yeah. I was a big fan of Getz. Honestly, hate to say it, but I was a Chris Getzlaff fan on the Riders, just up and down the field.
I love it. Suck on that, Getz.
Up and down the field.
You boys, you Sasky boys are Rough Rider. Fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
It's the Brookbank brothers. When I first played them, Sheldon, he talked about the Rough Riders. He's like, you got to come to a game up in Regina. I'm like, it's CFL. They love it, though. They love it.
Hey,
It's awesome.
Z, Obi touched on it earlier just about how important it is to start camp and to be ready to rock and roll. Last year, game one, big rivalry game against the Canucks on the road, 5-5. You go in and absolutely undress a couple guys and tuck one home for an overtime winner in game one. What did that do to the confidence to start the year off last year? You went in, you had a great year, but getting off to a good start, is that something... are you a streaky guy? Do you look to do that? And, that goal was epic. It put you off on the right foot last year for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's one of those things you love to score goals like that, right? I wish you could do that every night. Maybe start it off too hot because you can only go downhill from that one. But no, I think it's one of those things you always want to start off strong, be as consistent as possible. But the better start you can get off to, it kind of feeds into a good year. So, like Moses mentioned, just getting off to in training camp, off to a good start, being there, getting your reps in and feeling the puck, getting those touches and getting your pace of play back up kind of leads into a good start to the year and can feed into a good personal and statistical season. And yeah, it's always good for your team when guys are rolling from the start.
Yeah, Z, listen, I watched you guys play a lot last year. My boy Weegsy Baby and Hubie, and I just fell in love with the way you guys competed, your structure. I love Nazem Kadri's game. I guess where I'm going with this is Craig Conroy has rewarded you guys with contracts and what he's building there. It's got to feel good coming in there. You got a new rink around the corner, but starting to feel like what Connie's building there with your veteran guys and everyone wants to be a Calgary Flame. You guys got a little mojo heading in this year, it feels like.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's huge, like you mentioned, with the contracts and guys. Just the year we had last year and the way we play and how Husk has us playing and kind of as a group. Obviously, I think we're all really excited. We got a pretty similar group coming in and maybe a couple changes here and there, but we almost got all the same guys, and I think that's huge for us. I think it kind of all starts with how tight we are off the ice and how everyone feeds off each other and respects each other and just loves being around each other. And I think that's huge, is the kind of the chemistry we have there, and that leads to us wanting to play for each other on the ice. So I think we're all pretty fired up to kind of get this thing going and get camp going and just get into that regular season and start proving people wrong again.
Yeah, just kind of a follow up with Obes there. I know the staff there has a lot of faith in you guys, and they love your team. And everyone's different in the league. Some guys have expectations on their numbers and stats and how it's going to go. Are you a guy that kind of gives yourself something to look forward to in a numbers thing, or are you just kind of a guy that just goes and plays and sees what happens?
I would say a little bit of both. I think every time you go out there and every game you want to go out there and say, hey, I want to score tonight. I want to make a play that makes a difference. So I think there's in the back of my mind, I feel like there's always this statistical goal that I want to hit, but at the end of the day, I just want to go out there and be a difference maker. And sometimes that isn't always in the goals and assist category, but something that makes a huge difference in the game. And sometimes you wish third assist count because that might have been the play that changed the game. But
Yeah, third assist, bro. I had a lot of third assists. I'm like, okay, go to count that.
they could keep adding categories. No, I think it's just one of those things where it's just something you want to be a difference maker, and sometimes that might just be you went end to end, but you made a play that gained possession in the zone. A couple guys made a play that put it in the back of the net, and that could be a difference maker. So I think that's always what's huge for me is doing those things.
Do the Calgary Flames this year, do they sit down the leadership group and talk about, certain parts of the year where the rookie party's going to be, where maybe training camp, like, hey,
because if not up, you'll do it for you guys, eh? Hi.
specialize in like the break you need, like, the kind of 1-2 break. But by the way, you guys have the Olympic break this year. I think it's almost 3 weeks of non-hockey. So what
Too long.
yeah, what's that kind of mentality been like for guys? Like, is that talked about yet? Like, what that's going to be like. It's going to be a unique experience. We lived it one time before, Obes, you and I, and Richie, but
Almost killed me.
like 3 weeks with no hockey. Is that talked about?
Yeah, I think it hasn't been something that's been too crazily talked about. I'm sure it'll get a lot of attention coming up, but I think our season's going to be, just because you got 23 or 24 days on a schedule without a game, it's going to be a lot of games back to back and a grind in certain months. But I remember talking to Connie about it last year when I was hurt, and he was like, I can't believe this break that we had for Nations last year felt long at whatever it was, 15, 16 days. And then you have to add another 8, 9 days on it next year. And he just said it's going to be crazy. And obviously the schedule kind of gets condensed, but that's a long time to kind of get out of a game mentality. But I think it's kind of one of those things where you just got to ride the wave. And obviously we'll be coming back to practice early, but it's weird. It's going to be a long kind of weird break in the schedule to not get your reps in the game.
Z, we had in 2010, we had the Olympics in Vancouver. I'm just telling you, bro, when I came back to skate, it was not pretty. Thank God AV, our head coach, wasn't there. It was just the assistant coaches. I was like, boys, I might not make it through this.
Why was he coaching this?
I don't. I think no, he wasn't coaching Canada. Holy fuck! He just, I think his plane got delayed in Montreal. There was some snow or something, so it was just bonesy. I was like, come on, Holmes, get her. I'm giving you everything I got here, fella. Like, I might not make it through this. So, Rich, you want to jump in?
Well, I just wonder, are you going back to Toontown, or you got any plans here?
All for you, so good.
I think for the next, I don't know, for the next little while, I think I'll stick around, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Z, I wanted to ask you about, I had a little cup of coffee in Calgary, but I didn't really get to sink my teeth into the Battle of Alberta, so to speak. I didn't really get enough of an opportunity, but watching you guys now play against Edmonton, we all know they got McDavid and Draisaitl, been to 2 Stanley Cup finals in a row, but like, that Battle of Alberta has the bite back into it. It's just got to be those games that have got to be fun to play. And those games that you look forward to as a Flame, especially when they come into the Dome, that you're like, all right, boys, the energy in there is going to be next level.
Yeah, it's honestly like, it's something that's kind of hard to explain, like why it's so much different, but like it could be game 46 on a random January Wednesday, and it would just be so much more energetic, and you got a little bit of nerves, like, how the season drags on sometimes. You're like, okay, let's grind this one out. But then if that game, the BOA, comes up and you're playing the Oilers, it's just like a little bit of extra added fuel, and it's something that's just so special to play, and I think it's just so fun. I think the crowd just gets so into it, and there's so much energy in the building, and obviously the game settles down after the first few shifts, but it's always something that's just like, it feels like a playoff game, playoff atmosphere in that building as soon as the puck drops and the building's already full in warm-ups, and it's just something that I don't feel like every team has a rivalry, but I think just the Battle of Alberta is just a little bit extra on top of everything.
I got to ask you about the Dome, fella. Like, I didn't like going in the Dome on the road. I didn't like it when I was a fucking Calgary Flame, but I mean, it does have character. I think we got 2 more years left with the Dome, but what's it like? Because listen, the Sea of Red, listen, they sell her out every night. They're all wearing jerseys. They're all drinking beer. Like, the Flames fans are good, especially when you're winning. How do you like playing in that old barn?
Yeah, honestly, I love it. It'll be obviously something special to have a new rink, and it'll be so cool. It'll be state of the art. It'll be probably the best rink in the league just because it's the newest one. And but being at the Dome and being able to experience that for the last couple of years and just kind of having that old gritty mentality and that, like, you go up top and you just love how the fans will still show up in the third level, and where the view is kind of half and half because you got the big broadcast booth in front of it hanging from the ceiling, barely hanging on. Um, barely hanging on. Shakes when the speakers play, but no, I think it's just so cool. Obviously, getting a new rink with the new amenities and stuff will be awesome. But I think just showing up, it's kind of just like our team, just kind of like gritty work boots on, workman like attitude. And sometimes you go to the new away arenas and like, this is a nice setup. It's like our home setup, but I think that's I think that's I think that's what makes it so special playing in Calgary is being able to play in the Saddle Dome. You see all the fans coming in and out of there and down 17th Avenue, everyone with their red jersey on and everything like that. But I think just the history in that building, and it's so cool, and the fans feel so close because the lower bowl is so small, and it gets rocking in there, and that's the best part, and that's all you want, right? You'll give up some amenities and you'll have a older building and less cool stuff in your locker room just to have the energy you have in the Dome every night, and with our fans bringing it. So I think that's always the coolest part, is when you come out there for the anthem or something like that and see all the red all around, and the sold out building again is always the best part.
No, it is sick. We went to the Battle of Alberta a few years ago when Chucky was still in the Flames, and we sat like right behind your bench. You got good seats, and the energy in there was unbelievable. The lineups for the pisser weren't perfect, but the energy was unbelievable. And it does have a lot of character, but it's just something about that dressing room that you can't hide in the morning, eh? Like, you come in there, you just want to maybe have a coffee and slide, and there's nowhere to go. How your life's like, no,
No, it's very true. No, it'll be awesome to have that new building, and obviously that's coming. But you are right about that. There's not a whole lot of space in there to really do anything else. The kitchen's connected to the players' lounge, and the kitchen is connected to the locker room, and the urinals are right there. So it's
you're like, Maury fell, I know, but
no, it's nice. Like, you see everyone, and you can't really slip in and out, but it's awesome, right? You're playing in NHL, and there's nothing really better than that.
you can only, it's like there was two places to go: the steamer, which I hit probably anyways, or then you got to go to the gym. It's like, okay, fuck, I guess I'll go to the gym. Like, yeah, there's a tub. No, there was no. I don't think there's a hot tub. Maybe, I don't think so. No,
There's a hot tub, cold tub.
We got the hot tub, cold tub.
Oh yeah, I don't think that was it. Right there. Maybe I couldn't fit in it. Maybe that's why I didn't go in there. Oh no, I don't know. I was
Water in the tubs.
usually just had to go right to the gym and ride the bike. Anyways, that's where I was headed. Oh, yeah. You know, it's nice sometimes in the lounge just to get in there. No one can see you. You just kind of sit down for a sec before you head into what's going on. You're just like, all right, let's relax.
Or the change room was also, like a full dressing room in the new barns.
Like, it's so tight in there. You got the guy's nutsack. You're taking your clothes off. If he's right beside you, you're like, fuck, slide left a bit here. Eh? Like, it's just tight quarters in there. Yeah, tight quarters. But hey, Z, man, thank you so much. We're all pulling for the Flames here at Missin Curfew. How's my last but not least? How's my boy Weegsy baby looking? He's too cheap to buy. How's he looking out there? Is he snapping around?
He's looking good. Weeks he's always good, and he's one of those guys that always shows up, always ready to play, and always ready to have a good time. So he's one of the good ones, and he's awesome to be around day by day, except for when he complains.
My invite to his wedding must have been lost in the mail. I said, hey, I go smart though. They're like, when they say, does anyone have something to say? Forever hold your peace. I'd be like, I got something to say here real quick. That's probably why he didn't invite me, but congrats on all your success, buddy. We're pulling for you. Enjoy every second of it. Best league in the world, and keep playing your game, buddy. Well deserved. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, brother.
Good luck, buddy.
Brother.
Welcome back to Mr. Curfew. Updog, Richie fella. Thank you to Connor Zary. What a kid. Good Saskatoon boy. Happy for him. Great talker too, right? Sometimes you get the young kids that are a little nervous. He seems like a glue guy that wants to just shoot the shit and snap it around and go back to Toontown.
I'd totally have him under my wing if I was
Oh, boy.
You got Kadri, you got Huberto in there. I'd be like, hey kid, Connor, come here, let's go.
Hey,
You're gonna be my guy.
some people say Upshaw ended more careers than the fucking salary cap, but I mean, that's what some people.
Can you keep up Nobody could keep. I want someone to tell some of this good shit. I can't tell the trainers. They're going to tell everybody who's going to fuck her. So no, listen, great kid. Camus Blazer. He was the captain there. He played World Juniors. Just a good Western League kid playing basically in his, just outside his hometown.
Yeah.
As he said, he's excited to start the year off, and we're pulling for those Flames. I can say that as a Edmonton Oilers guy, but they got a good bunch of guys. Weegsy, baby.
Yeah, Hubie.
So we're pulling for those boys.
Good Sasky kid. I haven't met too many bad people from Sask. Have you? Toontown? Oh, he's great. But I love what he said. I love what he said on there about how they got to play a mucky style in that Saddle Dome, because that's definitely what they have to do to have a chance at those playoffs this year.
Yeah, Richie's like, I'll give me a couple more shifts. I'll muck it up out there for you, Rich. I'll muck it up. I'll muck it up there. I went up to Toontown one time for Stoli Babes' last tournament ever, and what a weekend it was in Toontown. My goodness. It was so much fun.
I was with you, buddy.
Yeah, two maybe, I think, right?
I don't think you weren't there. Richie was there. You weren't there.
Me and you flew back to Toronto and had a night after. You remember?
Yeah, we did. Was that where we bumped into Carcillo? Yeah. Yeah.
Was it?
We did. We bumped into Carb.
Oh, yes, it was.
Yeah, we did have a night. You're right. A real nice night. Who's got a time machine? Take me back. But thank you to Z for joining us. Good luck to the Flames. Richie, good to have you back, buddy. Good to see the boys have missed you. Up Dog, always a pleasure. Thank you to Hall Pass Media, Kyle, Casey Conway, Max, the Ice Pick Pickup. That was Missin Curfew.
Fellas.